Okay, so this is my Homelab. This is my current setup. So everything here is just for my home network, and most of it's secondhand. The PDU I bought brand new, but the main server that I have here, it's from an old Dell Optiplex 3020. And I've had that for probably, I'd say, probably about 5 years, 6 years, something like that. I've just put it in this new chassis, and I should have a picture of the inside of it as well, that I've replaced everything. Got some hard drives for it. So it's currently got two 4 terabyte running in RAID 1, and then I have one 2 terabyte hard drive, which is just for Plex, Jellyfin, that kind of stuff. And it's working great. I had to take the fan out, put a new fan on it. It's a bit of a jank setup, but it's nice and quiet. Then above that is just my router for, well, it's the modem for Virgin Media, which is my ISP, and it's 1 gigabit. I don't get symmetric, I just have 1 gigabit and 150 up. So it's good for most things. I've got this, which I bought recently secondhand. It's a Optiplex 3090. That's a 3090. So that's got an i5 10500 in it, which I'm going to be upgrading the RAM in. That's why I've got these sticks here. I actually got this this computer here on a good deal. In the UK, there's loads of asset resellers. They just buy up stuff from offices and resell it. Next to that, I've got it's an Odroid C2. It's a Raspberry Pi copy within a 64-bit ARM processor and I think 2 or 4 gigs of RAM. I'll talk about that in a sec. Finally, I've got a router board MikroTik RB3011. It's got a nice little screen on it. Actually, I just have it set to show my WAN traffic, but it's a nice little router. I'm actually quite a fan of the UI. The Winbox thing that it comes with is really solid, so I like it a lot, and I'm just still getting used to it, but I basically figured it out now. Yeah, and then just various terminations for things in my house. I don't know why I've got 2 patch panels here. I accidentally bought 2, so both arrived and I was kind of confused, but there we go. It's filling up some space in my rack, which I might replace with a shelf like this one here. This one's just a nice little one-use shelf, which I have turned upside down because it's actually not deep enough to take this computer here, so I've had to swap it upside down. Just have the Optiplex hanging off the back a little bit, which is fine. And yeah, I've got some blanking plates here for keeping the space there. These I got from work. We had a table that we were throwing out and I just took those from it. So yeah, so the bottom server is a NAS. Like I said, it's got the RAID 1 array, which is 4 terabytes for now until I upgrade it. I'm actually planning on getting 3 IC docks here with hot swap bays, so I can put 2.5-inch drives in there. So I'm going to probably fill that up with SSDs, some BX500s or something like that. And yeah, obviously this is the ISP modem. I don't really like the design because obviously it's kind of one of these trash bin designs, so I kind of had to put it on its side. But anyways, it shows me whether or not I'm connected to the WAN. This device here is just an Odroid C2, so this is like I said, it's a Raspberry Pi copy. I've used this thing plenty of times in the past for other things, but right now it's just my Unify network controller, so it's the manager for that. And when I plan on getting more APs, I've already got 2 access points in the house, but when I get more, I can sort of obviously manage it from there. And here I've got obviously the patch panel. So like I said, my terminations are coming from downstairs. This one here is from my WAN, which is from my ISP router, and this one is coming from my main PC. These are from the server, this is from the Pi, this one's from the TV downstairs. That's actually on a switch, so it's an unmanaged switch that I've got downstairs, and then I've got a PoE injector for my AP. I'm going to change this switch out and make it a PoE switch because I'm going to be having a camera down there as well. This is the second office from my girlfriend's office, and then this one is for, it says AP, but it's actually not the AP, it's for this server here. So I've just moved these over, and then this one is for my PoE AP, which I have right here, and it does a good job. And yeah, getting strong signal throughout the house. So I should mention this cabinet that I've bought is probably the only thing that's new on here. It came pre-assembled. Had some problems with it, but it's fine. You'll notice I've got this thing on a rubber mat. That's for isolation. Yeah, when I installed this server and I put the hard drives in it, the main reason I wanted to get this cabinet to begin with is to eliminate noise, but actually it made it worse because obviously inside there's no isolation for the hard drives, and I've done it 2 ways. So I've isolated the bottom with this rubber mat. This is actually for washing machines, but it didn't work out so well, so I've had to use, I don't know if we can maybe have a look. It's kind of hard to see, but I've had to use Orlex Mo pads, which are just for studio monitor speakers. It basically kind of floats on those. The case is totally decoupled from the ground, so I'm not getting any humming throughout the building at all. It's totally silent. But I should also show you. I've put just some of this like adhesive dampener because this is on both sides. This thing without this is like a drum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I don't really have a plan for this one yet. What I might do is install Frigate, and when I get my PoE cameras, use this as my NVR. It's a nice, powerful 12-threaded CPU. It's got 8 gigs of RAM and it's a 256 gig SSD. But then I'm going to install this 32 gig kit here. I'll film that as well, because I'm actually interested to take a look on the inside of this. If it has SODIMM slots, I'm going to kill myself, but I should be okay. So we'll figure it out. Yeah, so I'm actually really impressed with this little computer here. Actually, it's better than the other Dell computers that I've had in the past. As you can see here, there's actually a toolless caddy for a 3.5 drive, which I'd probably just adapt to 2.5 anyways if I'm going to put an SSD in there. Actually, I did see you can get mounting adapters with that it's stacked to SSDs, so I might do that. But this is kind of cool. This is like a little toolless thing that you can sort of take out, and that's your slim drive for DVDs and stuff like that. It did also have a power cable in there as well for that, which I'm probably going to put to the one side for now because I'm not going to really need it, although thankfully it looks like we have an M.2 connection there, and we've also got an NVMe, which I've got a 256 gig in there at the moment. That's just what it came with. But yeah, the only thing about these Optiplexes is that they have this sort of like proprietary kind of Molex thing going on for power. So if you ever do want to re-home this motherboard, you're kind of SOL unless somebody makes an adapter for it. But yeah, so it looks like it's just like full-size DIMM slots. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just replace the RAM in that. I'm pleased to find that we've got a X1 PCIe and a X16 full X16 PCIe as far as I can tell. And yeah, 2 SATA cables. One of them is obviously for the, in fact I'm going to take both of those out, but one of them was obviously for the optical disk drive, and yeah, you got a spare one there just in case if you want to put like a 3.5 inch or 2.5 inch drive in there. But yeah, it's nice. It runs cool and quiet. Even when the fans are spinned up to 100%, it's really quiet, so I'm really pleased with that. And yeah, I'm just going to put the RAM in, and I'll be right back. So I got the 2 RAM sticks in there, and so I should have 32 gigs now. Actually, interestingly enough, there's also points for obviously 2 more DIMMs, but they didn't put that in this model here. But the traces are in the board and everything, so it looks like this CPU can obviously support it. Obviously no XMP, so I can't get 3200 megahertz top speed there, but 2666 should be fine. So yeah, I'm going to put the caddy back on and put everything back together and install Ubuntu Server on it, and we should be good to go. Put it back in the rack and see what we need to do with it later on. So yeah, I just thought I'd share. I've just zap strapped these extra cables on here. I can still get the drive caddy in and out, but if I ever do want to put a drive in there, I'm going to take those cables out, which I'll need to do anyways, because obviously I need to use a SATA cable for a new drive. But yeah, if I ever do get the NVR working with Frigate and use the AI expansion, I can get a Coral TPU that'll fit in one of the either M.2 or I think they do a PCIe version as well. That would be very useful. So anyways, I'm going to put this back on here. It should be fairly painless. And it's toolless as well, so I have my screwdriver ready just in case, but I guess we don't need that. There we go. It's a case of sliding it on. Yeah, and now it's fixed. It's not coming off. So yeah, I'll get an image of Ubuntu Server downloaded and throw a USB into it, and we'll install Ubuntu Server. This I'm going to have to use with my screens. I don't have a dock or anything like that. I'm just going to have to use the screens, but we will get there. It's all powered up now. I didn't even need to go into BIOS because the first screen that I got was the amount of memory in the system has changed. Well, let's have a look. So yeah, I am going to go into BIOS. We are showing 32 gigs of memory, so that's good. Obviously it's running at 2666 because this is an XMP stick, so it can go up to 3200, but we don't need that. So yeah, it's looking good so far. We'll proceed with the installation. So yeah, we're back in business. I had an issue with an LVM. I think it's an encrypted LVM partition that was on my drive. It took me forever to get it sorted out, but we're in business now, so hopefully it should just work. So the issue I was having with this guy was I had a encrypted volume on here, I think. I had Proxmox on this server before, which I tried out for a little bit, and I didn't really like it. Not for this use case anyways. I'm going to probably use it in the future. But for now, Ubuntu Server, and I'm going to put a Portainer and everything on there just to get it installed. But yeah, it's working good so far. I had to use gparted to get rid of that volume for whatever reason. It just wasn't working. And then I figured out that I just had to deactivate it and clear the partition. It took me a little bit longer than it should have, but yeah, anyways, we'll get this back in the rack and we'll see if we can SSH into it. Awesome. Actually, I did forget one important setting. Under power management and AC recovery, we are going to turn that to on, just because if I ever lose power and then it comes back on, at least the PC will boot automatically back on and all the services can start running again. So yeah, we'll go put it back in the rack now. Also, yeah, I did want to mention these LEDs. I had a spare couple of strips lying around, so I took a 12-volt power supply that I had lying around also and soldered it to a couple of strips on either side in parallel, and yeah, it seems to be working good. One of these days I'll get this hooked up to like a Philips Hue or something like that, but yeah, looks cool for now. Yeah, that's all done now. Let's check out if we can SSH into it. So yeah, it looks like it picked up. Yeah, seems to be working good. Let's just see if it logs in, and it does. That's great. So htop. Yep. Awesome. So yeah, one last thing I did want to test was just the write speed, and I don't think this is an NVMe drive actually. So what I previously said probably wasn't the case, but let's have a look. Yeah, so it's not too bad, 673. Let's try that again. Yeah, 656. So it's not bad. It's over SATA 3 speeds anyways, but yeah, we can put an NVMe in there and it'll make it much faster.